Most people use Claude Code completely wrong. They open it, type a prompt, wait, type another prompt, wait. They're using a Ferrari like a bicycle. There are 5 proven patterns the pros use to get 10 times more output from the same tool. I tested all of them on real production work, and one pattern stood out as the absolute winner. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to break down every single workflow, show you exactly when to use each one, and tell you which one changed how I ship code. Let's go. Before we get to the patterns, you need to understand the foundation. Sub-agents. Claude Code can spawn other Claudes. Each one runs in its own context window. Each one has its own conversation history. They run in parallel. You invoke them with the task tool, /agents, or built-in patterns. Why does this matter? Because every single one of the 5 patterns we're about to cover is built on top of subagents. They're the Lego bricks. The patterns are how you assemble them. Once you understand subagents, you stop using Claude Code as a chatbot and you start using it as a manager. Pattern number 1, sequential flow. This is the simplest pattern. One agent finishes. Its output feeds the next. Like an assembly line, research becomes spec. Spec becomes implementation. Implementation becomes tests. Tests become a pull request. Each step is a separate subagent with a clean context window focused on one job. When should you use sequential flow? When the work has clear stages and each stage depends on the previous one. Refactors, migrations, anything where step 2 literally cannot start until step 1 is done. The trade-off? It's slow. Each step blocks the next. Pattern number 2, the operator. This is where things get interesting. One main Claude acts as the strategist. It plans, reviews, decides. Then it spawns a single sub-agent to execute the actual work. The operator stays clean. Its context window doesn't get polluted by every file edit and every command output. The sub-agent does the dirty work, returns a summary, and dies. When should you use the operator? When you need to keep your main session focused on high-level decisions, big architectural work, planning a feature, anything where context pollution would slow down your thinking. The trade-off? It's still sequential, say. You're not running anything in parallel. Pattern number 3, split and merge. Now we're in parallel territory. You take a big job, split it into independent chunks, fire off multiple sub-agents at the same time, and merge their results when they're all done. Researching 5 competing libraries, 5 sub-agents, auditing 20 files for security issues, 20 sub-agents, generating tests for a whole module, 1 per file. They run simultaneously. When should you use split and merge? When the work is parallelizable, meaning the chunks don't depend on each other. The trade-off? Coordination. You need to merge the results into something coherent. And you can hit token limits fast. Pattern number 4, agent teams. This is the most powerful pattern and the most complex. You don't just split work. You assign specialized roles. A front-end agent, a back-end agent, a database agent, a tester, a reviewer. Each one has its own system prompt, its own expertise, its own personality. They work together on a single feature. Some run in parallel, some sequentially. The reviewer agent rejects work that doesn't meet standards. The tester agent writes tests for what the implementer produces. It's like hiring an entire dev team for one task. Here's how agent teams actually work in practice. You define each role in a claude.md file or as custom skills. You give the lead agent the high-level task. The lead spawns specialists for each piece. Front end agent builds the UI. Back end agent builds the API. Tester writes integration tests. Reviewer audits everything. If the reviewer rejects work, it goes back to the implementer. When should you use agent teams? Complex features that need multiple kinds of expertise. Full stack work. Anything you'd normally split across human team members. The trade off? Setup time. You need to actually define the roles and orchestration logic. But once you do, the speed up is insane. Pattern number 5, Headless. This one is a complete game changer for power users. Headless mode runs Claude Code without the interactive terminal. You launch it from a script, Claude-P quote, do this thing, end quote. It executes the task, prints the result, and exits. No UI, no conversation, just output. Why is this insane? Because you can put Claude Code in a cron job, in a CI pipeline, in a GitHub action, in a shell script that runs every 5 minutes. Want Claude to triage your inbox every morning? Cron plus Headless. Want Claude to auto-fix lint errors on every PR? GitHub action plus Headless. When should you use Headless? When you want Claude Code working for you while you sleep. The trade-off? You can't iterate by. It's fire and forget. Now here's the decision matrix. Sequential flow is best for refactors and migrations. Predictable, ordered work. The operator is best for big planning sessions where context purity matters more than speed. Split and merge is best for parallel research and audits. Anything where the chunks are independent. Agent teams is best for complex multidisciplinary features when you need a full virtual dev team. And Headless is best for automation, CI, cron, anything where you want Claude running on autopilot. Pick the wrong pattern and you waste hours. Pick the right one and you ship in minutes. So which one actually 10x'd my output? Honestly, it depends on the work. But if I had to pick one, agent teams. Because it's the only pattern where the setup pays you back forever. You define your team once, front-end dev, back-end dev, tester, reviewer, and every future feature ships through that pipeline. You're not just using Claude Code. You're managing a virtual studio. The first time I used it, I shipped a full authentication system in 2 hours that would have taken me a full day solo. That's the moment Claude Code stopped being a tool and started being a team. Pro tip: these patterns aren't mutually exclusive. The real magic happens when you combine them. Use Headless to trigger an agent team in CI. Use the operator to spawn a split and merge audit across your codebase. Use sequential flow inside an agent team for pipelines like spec to code to tests. Once you know all 5 patterns, you stop choosing one and you start composing them. Like writing music with 5 instruments instead of 1. That's when Claude Code goes from a productivity tool to your personal force multiplier. So that's all 5 patterns: sequential flow, the operator, split and merge, agent teams, and headless. Pick the one that matches your next task. Try it today and drop a comment. Which pattern did you start with? Follow for more Claude Code deep dives like this one. I post every single day.